What's up, everyone? Dr. Dan back here. We're going to go through our second 5-minute desk exercise for all you people that are working from home over the next couple weeks. You can take this into the office. You can take this this group of exercises home if you want to. For this movie, we're going to go through the lower body exercise. We're going to spend a little bit of time on the knees and a little bit of time in the hip hinge position to develop that long, strong thoracic, lumbar, pelvic spine, help to decompress the neck, improve the shoulder health, and promote circulation, reduce the aches and the pains and all the bad stuff that you don't want to have when you're sitting at your desk too much repetitively throughout the day. All right, so as I showed you on the previous video, we got our 10 sets. We got our 30 seconds of work, which is a good little time frame, not too long, not too short. We got a 0 rest, so we're just gonna flow from one exercise to the next. We're gonna hit the on button. All right, maybe this is my second round of stretching per hour. I'm gonna push the chair back. I'm gonna straighten my feet up, and I'm gonna get into what we call the hip hinge position, where we work on extending the lower back, straightening the knees, getting that nice leg straight. Low back is nice and extended to help improve the thoracic and the lumbar extension. Really helps to get us out of that rounded or tucked posture that many of us develop from sitting or slouching in the chair too much. We're gonna hold this position right here for 30 seconds. We're gonna widen our feet, step 2. We're gonna turn the toes in a little bit. We're gonna continue to work on developing that low back extension. We're gonna shift our weight gently over to the right foot and over to the left foot to develop nice ball and socket hip, or what we call the femoroacetabular joint movement. A lot of people have impingement down in the hips, pain or tension in the psoas, the upper quad muscles. A lot of people get real tight in the hip crease. This is going to help us to loosen up. Good. After we get 2 rounds of our hip hinge, we're going to drop down into our kneeling position. We're going to place one leg forward, one leg backward, and we're just going to work on the left. I'm working on my left hip flexor, my left iliopsoas, my left quad. We're just going to work on some gentle lunging forward into the right leg. Not really working on the rotation aspect yet, but just kind of going through that gentle front to back motion. After we hit 30 seconds on the left leg, we're gonna hit the right leg. Key points here, we wanna see the toes slightly pointed in. We wanna see the knee and the shoulder. The goal is to have nice mobility in the front of this hip. So we wanna see the knee and the shoulder sink back behind the hip flexor right here. So again, we're just gonna work on some nice pelvic pumping right here. Inhaling back, exhaling forward, maintaining a little bit of pressure in the shoulders and the elbows to maintain that nice upper thoracic spine posture. Good. Coming down onto both knees, we got both toes in, both heels out. And again, we're just gonna work right here on that glute activation. You've seen us in previous videos talking about the bridging, the glute activation, a nice little butt squeeze to help open up the front of the pelvis. We can lean our pelvis forward, again, getting the shoulders and the knees behind the hip crease is what your goal is. And if you spend a lot of time here, you can develop this nice bow technology to help elongate the front. Now we're going to switch back to that left hip flexor, but for this round, we're going to work on a little bit of what we call pelvic coiling. My front foot is straight, my back toes are in. We're going to work on twisting the pelvis over into this front leg. So my chest, my pelvis, and my knee are all facing in the same general direction. We're going to hold here or pump through it for about 3 to 5 seconds per rep. And then we're going to switch over to the opposite side. Back foot toes in, front foot is straight. We're going to work on twisting into the front leg so that, again, my chest, my pelvis, and my knee are all facing in the same general direction. If you have any kind of like IT band issues, hip tension, gluteal tendonitis, bursitis in the hip, this is one of the best exercises to help free up the tension right here in the right side of the hip. Good. For the last few exercises, we're going to go into a little bit more of a split stance or a narrow stance lunge. We're going to raise up the heel on this front foot right here, and we're going to work on sitting back. We'll say pack the hip, sit back into the hip. We're compressing this leg. We're getting a nice deep hip pack up here and also helping to free up some tension in the lower back. My hands are just staying right on the desk, guiding myself nice and slowly back into my hip pack. After that 30-second round, we're We're gonna switch right over to that opposite leg. Foot is straight, heel is up. Work on packing the hip. When I say pack it, just like if you were putting a bunch of clothes in your suitcase, we wanna work on extending or sitting back into that right glute cheek. We get a nice stretch over in the right hamstring. Inhale forward, exhale backward. Inhale forward, exhale backward. Inhale forward, exhale backward. Lastly, we're gonna come right up into a nice little split stance and get right back into what we call our long and strong position. Our feet are straight forward, our knees are slightly pulled open, and now we can just work on pulling the knees, extending through the hips, getting that nice stretch down the front of the right leg or over on the left leg. You can add in some gentle bouncing in the upper extremity right through here to help improve the tissue elasticity throughout the back chain up into the lower back. All right, guys, my name is Dr. Dan. We're from Turack Chiropractic. If you want to feel better and move better, check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook, as well as on YouTube, where we can get you moving better, improving your mobility, improving your strength, and get you out of pain. We'll see you on future videos.